Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Now today we're going to be looking at and reacting to Sunderland's FIFA 20 player ratings. Now I have seen a handful of these, but I haven't seen all of them. So I thought what would be quite interesting to do in this video is of course react to these players' ratings for the first time. And as well, a week or so ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I did make a video predicting the player ratings as well. So we're going to compare, of course, what they were rated at the back end of last year. So the rating they had in the final patch in FIFA 19. We'll look at my prediction for what they're going to be and then look at their actual card and what they are going to be rated in FIFA 20. So it should be quite an interesting one. So we'll get straight into it, guys. If you are excited for this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. But let's get into it. Started off with our number one, big John Mclaughlin. Now, last season at the back end of FIFA 19, remember it is the back end, the final patch. I need to reassure you it is that, because I know a lot of player ratings change and they go up and down throughout the year, but towards the back end of FIFA 19, those are the ratings I'm going off. So last season, John Mclaughlin was rated 71. Now, I predicted he would go up by 2 and now be rated 73, but John Mclaughlin has remained the same, still rated 71, which I think is quite disappointing, really. I thought he'd go at least up by 1, but John Mclaughlin is rated 71 now. Next up, we have Burge, our number 2. In goal, he was rated 60 last year, and I predicted he would be rated 62 this year, and that is exactly what he's gone for. 62 rated, so I'm really happy with that. So I've got one right so far, and I think that's pretty fair, to be honest with you, for a backup goalkeeper as well. Now I'm looking at these ratings and picturing them in career mode as well, because that is what I'm going to be mainly focusing on this year. And of course, and I keep reminding you guys, the new Sunderland Road to Glory career mode will be coming out very soon indeed, which I'm so excited for. So get subscribed so you don't miss a thing. So Burge, yeah, he is rated 62. Now, next up we have Conor McLaughlin, the right back, who was rated 70 last year, and I predicted he would go down 1 and be rated 69. And lo and behold, he is rated 69. So, again, I've got it right. I'm doing quite well with my prediction type things this year, aren't I? So, Conor McLaughlin, I think that's probably fair. He didn't have a great year last year, and that's what they'll be basing their rating off. So, 69 for Conor McLaughlin, I think that is very fair indeed. Now, Jordan Willis, a player who you guys know I'm a massive fan of, as a centre-back, he was rated 65 last year, and I predicted he would go up by 2 and be given a generous 67 rating, but he has remained and stayed on 65, which I think is just shit. I think that's just a load of crap, because I think he's a class player. I think he should have gone up by at least 1, but no, EA just don't know the stuff, do they? But and next on the list we have King Alim Ozturk. He was rated 66 at the back end of last year in FIFA 19. I predicted he would remain the same and remain rated at 66, but he has gone down 1 to 65. Which I can understand it, because he had kind of half a crap season and half a good season last year, so I can understand that decision from EA. But next up we have Tom Flanagan, who he was given his position as a left back last year, but it was changed to a centre back, and it has remained and been changed to a centre back this year in FIFA 20 as well. He was rated 66. I predicted that he would remain the same, because he had a very inconsistent year last year as well. But surprisingly enough, he's actually gone up by 1 and is now rated 67. So that's a pretty decent player to have in your side if you are doing a road to glory in career mode like I am. Now, next up we have Jack Baldwin, who has gone out on loan to Salford. He was rated 66 last year. I predicted he would remain the same at 66 again, but again, it's another player that has gone up to 67. So what a player that is, especially for someone who's doing a road to glory with Salford next year, to have a 67 rated centre-back in League 2. That's absolutely mad. That's a brilliant rating to have for that league. Next up, we have our left-back, Denver Hume, who was rated 57 last year. And to be honest, when I did do my predictions for the ratings, I was very generous when it came to our younger players, because I just want them to have bagfuls of potential, which is a bit different this year anyway in career mode, because of course we have this dynamic potential, which is all based on form. So a lot of these players, even though they might originally only have, 70 potential, if you keep making them play better and they keep putting in good performances, you could see that potential build and build and build. So that's why it's more exciting this year for career mode, because I won't have to necessarily get rid of certain players even though I like them because I know that they can't improve anymore. For example, we could end up having Luke O'Nien by the time we get to the Premier League still because he could be playing well and still building up his potential, and he's not going to be limited to X amount in terms of ratings, if you know what I mean. So it is quite exciting this year. That's what I'm really, really looking forward to in career mode. But yeah, Denver Hume, he has gone up to 61, which is exactly what I predicted, which is very nice indeed. It's a really nice young left back to have to start with you know, in a career mode. I'm really, really looking forward to using him. And next up we have George Dobson. Quite disappointing because he was rated 67 last year. I predicted he'd go up by 1 because he did. Obviously, he played for a relegated team in Walsall, but he was definitely one of their shining lights all season long. But he still has gone down a rating to 66, which I think is a massive shame. But nothing that a bit of good form can't sort out in career mode. But next up, we have Grant Ledbetter. Probably one of the biggest shocks here for me because at the back end of FIFA 19, he was on a rating of 68, and I thought he would go down a rating because EA don't generally favour the older players or the more experienced players, but he's actually gone up by 2 and he's now rated 70. I think at the beginning of FIFA 19 he was rated 70 anyway, but towards the end when the last patch came in he was given a 68 rating. So to see that it's gone back up to 70, that's a big, big surprise for me. But again, it's a decent player to have within your squad for a career mode, as I do say. But next up we have the King Chris Maguire, who was rated 66 last season, and I thought he'd go up by 2 because he had a fantastic breakthrough year for us last year, but he's only gone up by 1, and he has gone up to a 67 rated, and he's now being put as a left midfielder as well, rather than a right midfielder, which he was played at, or he was given that position, that role in FIFA 19. And next up we have Lyndon Gooch, who was rated 67, and I predicted he would go up to a 69, but he's only going up by 1, and he is now rated 68. So again, not a bad player to have on that right hand side for your career mode. And now one of my favourite players, or probably my favourite player for Sunderland, of course, is Mr. Luke O'Nien, who was rated 65. He started off as a central midfielder, and now his position has been adjusted to a right back. And I predicted he'd be given a 67 rating, and that's exactly what he's been given. So I think I've done really well, to be fair, and I thought I was being really overly generous. But in terms of predictions, I'm nailing it so far. I've got quite a few right. So Luke O'Nien will be getting a 67 rated card in FIFA 20. But now it's the big one, Aidan McGee. He was on a 73 rated card last year, and I predicted a 75 because he was just absolutely top class last year. And, you know, I think EA always have this battle in their mind that even though a player was a bit older, we don't want to give him too much leeway because they just seem to hate people of a certain age. But, you know, he hasn't gone up, he hasn't gone down, and he has remained 73 rated, which I think is a little bit disappointing. But I think he's also lost his 5-star skills as well, which again, for me, is just bollocks, to be honest with you. But, you know, because it's always fun to have a 5-star skiller in League One. But 73 for Aidan McGee, I'll take it. It's still a class player to have in this league. And next we have Ethan Robson, who has gone out on loan, of course, in real life, but he was rated 59 last season. I predicted he'd be given a 62 rating, but he has remained the same with a 59 rated card. Now next up we have Mcgee Ock, who was rated 68 last year. I predicted he would remain the same at 68, and he has gone down by 1, which again is understandable because he didn't get much game time whatsoever last year, which is probably unfair. Hopefully this year he does get a lot more game time in real life because I think he will come good. I think he is a very good player, and a player that I'm quite excited to use in FIFA 20. But now we have Max Power, who was rated 67 last season. I predicted that he would remain the same after having a kind of up and down season with us, but he has gone up by 1 and he's now rated 68. So that's a very good card, or a very good player to have, should I say, for career mode. Now Elliott Embleton was rated 56 last season, and I give him a very, very generous bump when it comes to my predictions, and I said that he'd go up to a 63, which is a pretty massive jump. I did say it was a bit unrealistic for that to happen when I did do my predictions video, but he has gone up to 60, so he's jumped up by 4, which is pretty massive, and he's another player that the position has changed. He was a cam, but he has been changed to a central midfielder. But again, it's another young player that I'm looking forward to using in my career mode. And next up we have Baldwin, who was rated 55. He was introduced a little bit later on to the game in FIFA 19, but he was given a 55 rating, and I think he did have a set potential of about 80 last season, but of course with the dynamic potentials this year, it doesn't really matter that anyway. We can boost it, he'll shoot that through, and as long as his form is good enough. but he has remained exactly the same at 55, which I find very, very disappointing, even though I did predict 60. So that is a shame, but, you know, again, he only had a handful of games towards the beginning of last season and hasn't really done anything since, which is a shame again, but I suppose that's just part and parcel of the game. But next up we have McNulty, who was rated 67 last year, and I predicted that he would stay at 67 because he had a really difficult first half of the season, didn't really see any games in the Championship, but then he went over to Scotland and bagged goals for fun. So he has had an upgrade to 68, which I think is a very decent striker to have in League One. But next up we have Big Charlie Wyke. He was rated 67 last year. I predicted he would go down a rating, and that is exactly what has happened. He was very injury prone last year. He didn't really hit the ground running. He didn't really play too well all season long, Charlie Wyke, poor guy. But he is now rated 66. Now, Duncan Watmore, of course, the most injury-prone man known to Earth, was rated 69, and I predicted he would go down by 2 ratings, which I thought was actually a little bit harsh, but I thought that's probably just deserved. 67 I thought he would get, and that is exactly what he has got. 67 rated for Duncan Watmore. Now, we do have Will Grig, who was rated 70. I thought after a poor second half of the season for us, I thought he'd go down by 1, but he has remained 70 as well. So he could be a very important figure for us in our career mode. And then we do have Kimpioka, last but not least, who was added in with the final patch in FIFA 19, and he was rated 54, and he has remained exactly the same. So that is all of the FIFA 20 player ratings. Well, that's all the ones that are on Foothead right now. So if there are any players missed out, I do apologise. I can't really see anything as of right now, but that's all the players that are on the database for Sunderland. So I'm relatively happy with that. Some exciting ones there. I like that Luke O'Nien's got himself a good boost. I like that Embleton's got a good boost as well down for Hume. Some good young plays there. But what do you guys think about the FIFA 20 Sunderland player ratings? Let me know in the comments down below. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.